Hey guys, Dave from PFS Outdoors, out making memories. Today, instead of shooting guns, we're gonna do a little bit of fencing here. I got some sheep. My buddy Val's running the camera behind the camera there for me. We're gonna show you how I stretch a fence out here and how my dad taught me when I was little. So here's a few tools down here on the ground we're gonna need. You're gonna need a chain. These little clips right here that go around your fence. This little tool right here, I'll show you, I'll do a close-up video here in a little bit once we get the fence stretched. This is a lifesaver when it comes to not having to use that. You're gonna need some staples because we're gonna have some wood posts, and obviously your cutters and a hammer. Next thing that is very good, and a lot of people used to make it an old way and take 2x4s and drill holes and whatnot. Tractor Supply sells this little guy right here, it's fence stretcher. So what you do is you lay it on the ground, excuse me, you undo your bolts, you slide it through, and then once you have it bolted on and on your fence, this is a piece I've already cut off of, we'll reattach it in a minute. It has two little levers right here. This is where you hook the two ends of your chains. And I'm going to use my tractor as a stretcher. And a lot of people can use a truck or a four-wheel or something, get the fence tight, and then use a come along. The tractor does good for me, so I don't need a come along. But you hook both ends of your chain here. Keep it level with your fence. You don't want it too high, or you don't want it too low because it'll eat in your ground. And if it's too high, then it'll be pulling your fence upward as you're stretching it. So you want to keep it level when you're pulling with the tractor, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a few minutes with that. Next, what we do is we got a roll of fencing here. So what I'll do here in a minute, we'll slide this roll up closer to the pole. We'll wrap it around and staple it, and then we will have somebody hold this in so it doesn't unroll on us or roll back up on us. We'll just kick it off like that and roll her downhill. Thankfully we got it downhill the way the fence is laying. Once we get it laid up, you're going to want to take the bottom of this. See how that rolls up if you don't have somebody on it? You're going to want to put the bottom of this, which is your small squares, all the way up against the bases of your T-post. So when you're pulling, it'll get real tight and it'll just want to stand up on you. And that makes your job a lot easier trying to slide it. So as you're unrolling it, we're going to push it up against the bottom of these T-posts all the way down. And we'll stretch it and it'll come on up. So as you can see here, this fence here, we did it a couple days ago. I got to put my gate on. With those clips I showed you, I did 4 in some spots and 3 in some spots. It just depends if your fence bulges or not, but they just wrap around. This one here has 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I broke it up into quarters. Sometimes thirds will work. It just depends if you're using a 4-foot fence, 3-foot fence, or even a 6-foot fence. So however you want to see fit. The more you have on there, obviously the more secure it is. Like in between these two, it has a little bit of play, but my sheep aren't going to get up that high. So keep watching. We're going to show you some more tricks here in just a few. All right guys, we are back. We got the fence right here rolled all the way down there. You have to excuse some of the noise in the back. I got the kids on their gator playing. I got Val standing right there in the middle because once I pull up with the tractor, it'll get real tight and stand up. We can nail it to that. So what we did is we have the fence stretcher tied onto it, and you can see how I have my chains through that loop, right around here on my tractor. So all I have to do with the tractor, and you can see the level I have it at, all I got to do is back straight up and it should tighten up. So I'm going to try and hold the phone here on the tractor as well while we get on. We slide around to the other side here. All right. Here goes nothing. I'm gonna have to hold you guys and bear with me for a sec. I'm gonna hold you and ride the tractor at the same time. All right, so the fence is stretched up. What we are doing now, I think we can come up on top of that one there, is we're gonna come up on top of these notches. That way, that's what helps hold your weight. Yeah, right there like that. Our little clamp and that little handy tool I was talking about a while ago. Spins right around like that. Get you on this side. And voila. So now we will continue that, like I said, into quarters or thirds on down. We are going to do that all the way down. You always want to go and put your top ones on first. I always try and put my my foot under it, push it up against your fence there like so. Oops, sorry about right there. And that way you can, if you want to weed eat under your fence, you can, or if your animals have a chance to kind of stick their tongue up under that fence there and pull some of the grass out if you have cows or sheep or whatever. That way you don't have to do as much to your fencing there. Then you come back and work your way from the top down is the best option. So since we did the top one, you're going to want to come down halfway and then go down to the bottom, kind of push your curl out, because it's going to be a little tight. It's going to be a little tight like right here where it's going to bow out a little bit, but all in all you want it good and tight. This is done pretty well. I needed a support down there, so kind of messed up on me, but we're improvising. Come up one more. There you go. All right, guys, so we got our fence stretched today. I got all the way down to the end down there. Looks nice and good. Nice and tight. I got one panel to put in way down there by that wooden panel down there. I got to put a 16-foot panel in. We got our swinging gate. I like using this gate right here for sheep. It already has the cattle fence on the bottom of it, so that way your sheep don't try and sneak through, especially your babies. So we just loosened this bolt, the nut here on the other side, and twisted this round, so that way you have one facing down and one facing up, so that way your gate won't get pushed up or down, it won't fall out. So we're pretty tight there. The fence is good. See how we wrapped her around here and just stapled it. Gate will shut. I got this chain here. I'll cut this off and we'll wrap it around and put a little hook loop on it, and it'll stay hooked to the fence here and they won't get out. So this fence here has a little bit of a curve to it because I wanted it to go with the contour of the driveway and how the landscaping was. I'll take you up here and show you what I'm talking about with the cattle fence panel. What I did most of the time with the 16-foot cattle fence panel, I'll run about right at maybe 4 posts, 3 to 4 posts, depending on how tight it is. About halfway point right here. I always put one in roughly about halfway to help pull and hold some of the weight. I still got to put my, you see some bow right here. You can see how it's coming out because on this stretch of fence here, all I have is my top ones on. I'm gonna put about 3 more. I put 4 per post with this, so that way it stays on nice and tight. Especially about 2 or 3 from about halfway down, because sheep like to lean against the fence when it's time to shed their hair. I have hair sheep, Katahdin. They're meat sheep. Market's really well for them right now. I think last year I got $3.30 a pound, and a friend of mine, he ended up taking his up to Indiana somewhere and got $5.50 a pound, I believe. So next year when I have about 30 ewes right now, they all have their babies. I should have about 60 babies or so. So I got to put this panel in here that's missing. But this is the welded. You can see right here where it's welded. Each square is. I did my halfway post there as well. So you can see once them pine trees get big, I planted those when they were only 1.5 feet, 2 foot tall at the most. So you'll be able to see once they get going, they're really going to provide some shade for them. You want to try and get your post at least 2 foot in the ground, because when you start pulling and stretching, that's pulling a lot of tension, a lot of weight there, a lot of tension on it. So you want it to be able to not break out. I paid for those posts. These posts here, this is the other side of my driveway. As you can see, the sheep have really eaten the grass down, but these posts here are cedars from the house. They go all the way to that telephone pole over there and on down, but they really ate this down. I need to rotate them. Right now I've got them in the back field, but I really want to get them over here on this side field in probably about a week. It'd be nice if we can get some more rain. You can see right now I've got the right there where they're at, I've got the field divided in half behind that carport going across. So I've got my front field, then I've got the bigger back field. This will be field number 3 here. And I got a small patch behind the house there where I keep, where I've got my babies that I don't want to be bred right now. I've got about 8 of them back there, 8 ewe lambs. So you can see steer number 1 and steer number 2 there. This big brown one here, he can get a little bigger. They're gonna come to me because I think I got some food. He's scheduled to go to the market this fall, and then the black one there will probably go next year. I didn't really name them. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. They're just a Jersey. Jerseys have a good sweet taste on their steaks. Feed them out some grain about a month out before you take them to the butcher, and they'll do good. Won't you, boy? Yeah. If I pull some grain out, I got them trained to come to a bucket. I'll just lead them. They get out and they'll come running to me if I pull a bucket out. Won't you, boy? Yeah, we didn't name you. And steer number 2, I got him as a bottle calf. He's gonna do well next year. Getting a little low light for my camera, but he's not too far from him. So I'll probably do about 2 cows a year, along with my 30 sheep and my 1 ram. And that's about what I can handle. I'll get you some aerial views of a drone when it's time to move them from one field to the next. And you guys will be able to see my field structures, and I'll be able to do some editing and show you how I've got my properties plotted off. But got my hay for the year over there. I bought 30 bales this year. Got my barn, so I'll be ready to get some 4x4 stalls built, so when they're ready to have their babies, they'll be out of the weather. So give me a thumbs up. As I always say, get outside and make some memories. I love the farm life. There ain't nothing like it. It's nice and peaceful and quiet out here. As you can see, my neighbor's way over there, and it's my neighbor's barn, and their house is way over there. So I don't have any neighbors. Dead end road. Pretty quiet. No planes, trains, and automobiles. That's the way I like it. You all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Give me